Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another exciting session here at how are you doing so far? I know you said that your uncle tonight. How was last night's session? Have you had an awesome session? So you can start. Right. So if you can hear me and you may can that you can hear me. Right. I like to know hear me and that you can hear me. You know how we do. You get the link to your friends, get the link to your colleagues, to your family, everyone who has registered for this family right here, right now, right? We are about to go live. We're about to start. We're actually live already. So, yeah, and then I'll get to it in the room. So if you can hear me, I like to know that you can hear me and that you can see me. So I'll be waiting for your comments. Tonight is going to be another exciting session here with the Mr. Ruthless Execution himself. The parish is already in the building. Yeah, if you're excited, I want to see the excitement in the comments. I want you to show your excitement. Yeah, okay, someone can hear me properly. Hold on. Let me know if you can hear me better now.
All right. I want to know if it's better. Can you hear me better now? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. It should be better now. Please let me know. Can you hear me better now? Yeah, let me know if you can hear me better. All right. Thank you, everyone. You're welcome again to Mentake Coaching Bootcamp. My name is Shemelade. I'm your anchor tonight. And like I said, we are having a wonderful session with the Mr. Ruthless Execution himself, a person of Steve Harris. He's already here in the studio and is ready to give it to us hot. How was yesterday's session? Does somebody want to quickly give us a feedback about how yesterday, how many people were around for the career session with Mr. Jimmy Tewe? How was it? How was the session yesterday with Jimmy Tewe? I like to know what you think about that session. We've gotten a bit of your feedback from the Telegram group, but I'd like to have it again live. And you know how we do it. If you're here, you're streaming, and you can see me, you can hear me. Kindly tell me your name and where you are streaming from tonight. You can as well tell me what you're looking forward to. Right. So I'd like to know your name. I'd like to know where you're streaming from and what you are looking forward to. Oh, someone says JT was hot. Of course he was. Ahmed says yesterday was awesome. Right. Ahmed also say it was short. Yeah, that's why you need to come early because I mean you don't know what to expect. This is meant a coaching bootcamp. Yeah, so you should come on time. And there's an adage in Yoruba that says the soup that is sweet is not plenty. You get so yeah, get used to that. All right, get used to that. Hi, Michael from Ikorodu. Tell me what you're looking forward to tonight. I'd like to know what you're looking forward to. What are your expectations? Kindly tell me what are your expectations tonight. Please don't forget to share the link both in the group with your friends across your social media. Go ahead and share the link on all your social media platforms so that your friends can join us tonight. Tonight is going to be hot. Tonight is going to be explosive, right? If you know Steve Harris, you will know that. He ain't joking at all. Yeah, someone says JT session kept me glued to my phone, even though I was on the road without my headphone. Ha, bros, be careful. I hope you're not doing that tonight. Please, right? Yeah, please. Right. Tell me what you're expecting. Tell me where you're streaming from. Oluwatoni says, I expect ruthless insight from Steve Harris tonight. Yeah, you're going to get it. Ruthless insight. Yeah, you're going to get it here tonight. Okay, let's keep it coming. Michael Bakari expects discipline and ruthless execution to work. Of course, you're going to get that tonight. Please keep it coming. Please keep it coming. Please keep it coming. Right. I'd like to know where you're streaming from and what you're looking forward to tonight. Ayobami is streaming from Ibadan. Ayobami, tell me what you're looking forward to tonight, right? Kindly tell me what you're looking forward to tonight. Tonight is going to be awesome. Tonight is going to be exciting, enlightening, and revolutionary, right? You're going to get radical insights that will give you radical results. I mean, no time. I mean, there's no, there's no gainsaying to that. You're definitely going to get practical insights that will, propel you into greater results. Yeah. So please, as you're joining me, kindly tell me where you're streaming from and what you are looking forward to tonight. I'm going to post the link now so that you can share with your, that's the link scrolling below the stream. Kindly share this link to bring everyone in already. Our guest is already in the studio, and any moment from now, he will be taking off. Okay, Isaac says he's streaming from Dallas, Texas. Hi, Isaac. Hi, Dallas. Today, tell me what you're looking forward to. Please tell me what you're looking forward to. All right. That's a stream to join on YouTube. Kindly share the link so that everyone can come in. I also like to hear some of the things you have enjoyed so far at this boot camp. Has it been worth it? Has it been, we have women who are actually registering for this, despite the fact that we told them not to. They said this is too good to be for only men. So look out for, we've seen some of them in the group. I hope they don't show up tonight. And if they do, we'll probably extend the love of Christ to them. Hi, Ezekiah, streaming from Igondo, Lagos. You're looking forward to practical insight to the level, to level up your public speaking training business. Of course, our guest mentor is a king when it comes to public speaking. So you're going to get that tonight. Hi, Joshua. I'd like to know what you're looking forward to tonight. Hi, Joshua, streaming from Abeokuta. I'd like to know what you're looking forward to tonight. Okay. Hi, Ayobami. You're looking forward to clarity when it gets to execution and getting clarity with work in different areas. I know that when we had the session with, both the session with Femi Jacobs and the session with Bankole Williams, I know a lot of questions was around execution. Tonight, all your questions around execution is going to be answered, okay? Yeah, it's going to be answered. All right, so that's the link. Please share the link with everyone. Share the link with your friends. Please bring them in. We're about to take off. Tell them to join quickly. The train is about to take off. Okay, so please bring everyone in quickly. We are about to go. Our guest is already in the building. So any moment from now, we're going to go live. Right. Someone says he's trying to recover from FJ's session last week. Yeah, too much debt. Great. Last session with Femi Jacobs, mind shifting. I still haven't recovered. Yeah, right. Yesterday we had a career session with Jimmy Tewe, and he gave us 4 cardinal points. Give us 4 major blueprints that you can explore to achieve career success, to elevate your work and stand out in your industry, in your career journey, or in your workplace, right? So tonight we're going to get practical insights that's going to up level. I mean, yeah, level up. That's it. We're here for level up tonight. Right. Hi, Olatunbosun, streaming from Lagos. You're expecting, Olatunbosun is expecting practicable and profound insights. You're going to get it tonight. Let's keep it coming. Let me know where you're streaming from and what you're looking forward to. Blessing Timothy is streaming from Abuja. He says, I know my business is going to explode this new week. Hallelujah. Permit me to shout hallelujah today. I know we're not in church, but I'm excited about that expectation. That's a practical expectation. And then if you see what Steve Harry is going to hand over to you, if you deploy it, you're definitely going to see results this week. That one is too sure, right? It is too sure. Yeah, so please keep it coming. Let me know where you're streaming from. Hi, Tubosun from London. Can you let me know what you're expecting from Mr. Ruthless Execution? You know, I told you yesterday that PJ is the professor. Steve Harris is the Berlin. Yeah, so much insight tonight. So much insight. Please, let's keep it coming. Can you let me know what you're looking forward to? And what are your anticipation? Like, how's it been so far? And I asked a question. I asked a question about the bootcamp. How has it been? How has the bootcamp been generally? I'd like to get your feedback. Hi, Samson from Nasarawa. You're welcome. Can you tell us what you're looking forward to tonight? Eniola, kindly tell us what you're looking forward to tonight. Right. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Like I said, our guest is in the room, and in a few seconds, I'm going to be bringing him up. But go ahead and share the link. Please go ahead and share the link. All right, so that other people can benefit from it. Don't be selfish. I mean, we've had week 1, week 2, week 3, and this is week 4. We're in module 4, actually. Yeah. So please share the link. Hi, Kunle Afonja from Healing, Texas. You're looking forward to understanding strategy. Also an insight on how different strategy helps with different execution. You're going to get it tonight. The master strategist is right here. And without much ado, I will be bringing him up. I will be playing his bio, his profile, so that you can know who is actually mentoring us tonight. Hi, Joshua, streaming from Ogumosho. He said, I was under his lecture in 2018 on in OAU campus. I was waiting for more fire. He said, I am waiting for more fire from the boss. Since, I mean, he's waiting for more fire from the boss. You're going to get it once more. Yeah, you're going to get it. You're going to get it. All right, so I'm going to be playing the profile of Steve Harris. You're going to get to know who your speaker tonight is. Let me know if you're ready. Let me know if you're ready. Say, I am ready. If you're ready, say, I am ready. I am ready. I am ready. Say it. Let me know if you're ready. Let me know if you're ready tonight. If you're ready, say, I am ready. Okay. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Yeah, let me know if you're ready. I want to see that readiness before I play his bio for us. Let me see your readiness. Say, I am ready. I am ready. I am ready. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see if you're ready. If you're ready, type it in the comments and say, I am ready. Right. Okay. Looks like we're ready. Okay, let's go. Enjoy.
Steve Harris, founder, CEO, Execution. Steve Harris, fondly called Mr. Ruthless Execution, is privileged to be a trusted authority in the fields of life and business strategy, a highly sought-after management consultant, motivational speaker and author, and is the Chief Executive Officer of Execution. He's also sought after by many organizations as a turnaround expert, life strategist, and inspirational corporate activator that has added incredible value to not only the effectiveness and corporate productivity of his clients, but also to their organization's bottom line. In 2007, Steve Harris managed and led a highly successful culture transformation project for the management and over 600 staff of West African Portland Cement, WAPCO. In that same year, he co-led and championed the 4-month culture transformation project for Bank PHP PLC. In 2010, Steve Harris co-led a culture transformation project for the management of Ashika Cement, Ashika Sem, during which he was also given the sole responsibility of preparing the organization diagnostic report for the executive management of Ashika Cement. In December 2010, he co-led a one-day highly successful team-building retreat for the management and over 500 staff of MultiChoice Nigeria. Since then, Steve has also been sought after by many organizations as a turnaround expert, inspirational speaker, and corporate activator that has added incredible value to their bottom line and is fast becoming a household name in organizations, including Oracle, Guaranty Trust Bank, Union Bank, First Bank, Axis Bank, Skybank, Nokia, Diamond Bank, Stanbic IBTC Pensions, Shell Petroleum Development Company, Nigeria LNG, etc., just to name a few, where he has managed streams of customer service management, emotional intelligence, leadership, passion infusion, and workforce activation training programs and retreats on the platform of his management consulting firm, Execution. In May and September 2015, as well as in April 2016, Steve Harris was listed among the world's top 100 business coaches to follow on Twitter. He's also been featured in international media such as The Economist, Slate Magazine, and CNN contributor Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown blog. A sought-after conference speaker, Steve Harris is passionate about helping high-performance individuals and institutions bridge the gap between their performance and potential. He is also one of the most influential life and business coaches in Nigeria. His podcast has been rated among the top 15 in the training category in iTunes and has been downloaded well over 200,000 times. His online have been taken by over 2,000 people, and his weekly emails reach well over 3,000 people. He is also a certified member of the International Coach Federation, ICF, a member of the Life Coaches Association of Nigeria, LCAN, the American Association of Small Business Consultants, Texas, USA, and the International Certified Consultants Association, Canada. Gentlemen, please welcome to Men's Arcade, Steve Harris.
Yay! Make some noise. You're welcome, sir.
Thanks for having me, bro. I mean, I was listening to the profile. I was like, dude, that happens to be you. You don't try.
All right, sir. You have the floor, sir.
Alrighty. Good evening, everyone, fellas, and the ladies who have sneaked in. So good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. It's super, super awesome to be here at the Men's Arcade. I want to first give a shout out to my sister from another Mr. DDK, for the amazing work she's done. She was able to pull over 10,000 guys. That's what most of us guys cannot do, but she was able to pull over 10,000 guys to be a part of this platform, and it's super, super stoked. I can see everyone. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Oluwatobi Kilanko. Hey, what's up? Dunsi, Joshua, Olayibade, please forgive me if I murder your name, just put it on the house. All right. Onyeka says women day here. Awesome stuff. All right. Thank you so much for having me. It's such an amazing honor and privilege to be here. My name is Steve Harris, and you guys have been having an amazing time. So shout out to every speaker who has come before me. My twin brother, Jimmy Tewi, I heard he brought down the house. I believe it was yesterday. My friend Femi Jacobs brought down the house, and just amazing speakers who've been here. So I'm just one of those who the baton has been handed over to, and I'm sure that maybe tomorrow, I don't know if it's ending tomorrow or maybe I'm the last guy, but I don't know. But I know that there are some people coming after me whose shoes I'm not worthy to unravel. So, just stick with me. So good evening, fellas. Tonight we're going to be talking about the secrets to up-leveling your business. But that sounds like a very technical, please forgive me, very boring title. All right, so I'm going to stick with secure the bag. Okay, I'm going to help you secure the bag. That is my title. All right, so how are you going to secure the bag in 2021? I figured that making the title a lot more relatable would be better than the secrets to up-leveling your business, which sounds great, but that's not how I talk. You know what I mean? So for me, I think securing the bag would be the message that I want to be able to share with you in 2021. Irrespective of where you are in your journey as an entrepreneur. So whether you are emerging or established, I really want you to secure the bag. Michael says, big man, Steve, what's up, bro? So, that's really what I'm here for. How can you secure the bag in 2021? How can you make some moolah? Particularly now that it seems that things seem to be getting back to normal. So how do we secure the bag in 2021? So first off, let me just get right into it, okay? Now, let me start just a little bit by sharing a bit of my journey so that you know that what I'm sharing is not theory or, like we say in Nigeria, aspire to perspire. But so I started my business in 2010, right? So that makes it 11 years that I've been running my own business. I've been a consultant for the last 16 years. And basically what that means is I like to think of myself as a business doctor. So many of the clients that were mentioned in my profile and so many others that were not mentioned, what I've been doing over the last 16 years is diagnosing their problems, identifying the solutions, coming up with medication, so to speak, and treatments so that they become profitable. And that's what I'm really, really passionate about. If you follow me, you would have heard me say that I'm the first coach you should have come to multiply your profits. And I'm usually the last coach that you would need. Now, for some people, that sounds like an arrogant statement, but the truth is, if you're the best, you never have to apologize for it. One of the things I need you all to do as entrepreneurs is to remember that if you are the best, never apologize for it. If you believe that you are number one and you have the results to prove it, if you back up what you brag about, people will take notice. A lot of entrepreneurs don't know how to get people's attention. All right, so I'm going to share very quickly a little bit about my background, and I'll get into how you can secure the bag. So in 2000, so I started working, well, not started, but I left my very comfortable consulting job where I was working with my mentor, Fela Durotue, in 2010, based on divine instruction. Perhaps it was the worst time to leave. My wife was pregnant, which was amazing, but I was broke. At the time I obeyed and left my job, I had 20,000 naira in my account. My wife was pregnant, which was great. Our rent was going to be due, which was not great. She had left her job previously a couple of months before, so that she was having some complications with the pregnancy. So, we decided for her to, stay home. So she wasn't earning an income or anything. I had 20 grand. Our rent was going to be due, and I was scared to death. And long story short, the day I finally obeyed God and I left my job, I had 20,000 there. And here I am sitting at home wondering how I'm going to take care of this woman and her baby. By the third day of sitting at home, I had 17K. And I was scared to death, like, Lord, come on, Jesus, you better come through for me now, because I only have 17 days to turn my life around, because we were spending an average of 1,000 naira a day. And so sitting down, God put it in my heart, and he said to me that, aren't you the guy that always says, and I say this all the time, it's not what you don't have that limits you. It's what you have, but you don't know how to use. So let me say that again. It's not what you don't have that limits you. It's what you have, but you don't know how to use. So I sat down and I began to itemize the things that I felt I had. So I wrote a list of my skill sets, and I wrote down, things I felt that I was good at. I had consulting experience. I just got certified as a life coach. I had this weird idea to write a book, and God put it in my heart and said, look, if you could make any amount of money in a year, how much would you like to make? So I said 88 million naira. 88 million doesn't sound bad in any way. But here I have 17,000 naira in heaven, on the earth, and 88 million naira in heavenly places. And then, of course, he asked me, so how would you make it? So I broke it down. If I could get 10 consulting clients to give me 5 million naira over the course of 1 year, I'll make 50, right? If I sell this book of mine at sell 1,000 copies at 2,000 naira, I'll make 2 million naira, and so on and so forth. So I broke it down. So long story short, I had 88 million naira in heavenly places, and then I had 17 million naira in my bank account. So that doesn't make me feel any better. But long story short, over a period of 10 months, not even up to a year, my business had generated 17 million naira. I didn't have staff. I didn't have any of those things. Opportunities just started coming my way that I was taking advantage of, and I was positioning myself for. And here's the beautiful thing, without even going to my previous employer. So when I left Fela's company, I didn't do business with any of our previous clients. As much as possible, I didn't do business with any of our previous clients. So these were new clients, new businesses, and in 10 months, I'd made 17 million naira. The book that I wanted to write to sell 1,000 copies, sold 3,000 copies. So I made 17 million naira, and it was pretty exciting. And for me, what really struck me was how come people don't know? How come people don't know how to make money? How come people don't know how to secure the bag? And so I sat down within myself and said, I wanted to teach people how to do that, but I needed to prove my concept so that to make sure it wasn't just a miracle, that God just had mercy on me this year. And so if I could do it the next year, then I knew that I had principles that worked. So the next year I sat down and I went through those principles again. And this time I didn't make 17 million naira. I made 53 million naira in the second year of my business. And that was pretty exciting. And I said to myself, man, if I could do that, right, then I think I can teach that. So now I have a program called Mastering the Business of Your Talent, where I help entrepreneurs, just become incredibly profitable and help them make their highest sales yet, particularly from their giftings and their passions and their abilities. But that's not why I'm here. So how do you secure the bag? Now, as an entrepreneur, and I'm hoping you guys can let me know if you're an entrepreneur, just, drop in the comments, just say yes. All right, if you're an entrepreneur or you're aspiring entrepreneur, as the case may be, how do you secure the bag? The first thing you need to recognize is you've got to be able to attract attention, okay? As an entrepreneur, you must be able to attract attention. Attention is perhaps the currency that you trade in. You know what I mean? So no matter how great your product or service is, if you're not able to generate or attract attention, Joshua, nobody's going to buy from you. You could be selling the best thing since sliced bread or since agigi bread, Kelvin. But if you're not able to get anyone's attention, then your business by itself is an exercise in futility, right? You've got to be able to get people's attention. Now, how do you do that? In order to do that, you have to position yourself very well. The Bible says, Solomon says, go to the ants and you sluggard. He says, learn from the ants. Learn, and he begins to list out several creatures that you can learn from. But positioning is very important. So I'll give you an example. Have you noticed that whenever you're in traffic, right, particularly if you're trying to make a turn, right, make a U-turn and you're in traffic, do you notice that the beggars, and I mean no disrespect, the less privileged, the beggars in our society are properly positioned to collect money from you? They don't collect money when the traffic is flowing. They collect money when there's a standstill, when they have a captive audience. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. They know where the captive audience is. So in order to attract attention, you must position yourself where your captive audience is. So here's the question: where is your market? Where is your audience? You know what I mean? Beggars are easy to, they can effectively communicate with you or make their pitch to you while you're in traffic, while you're waiting for the light to turn, or you're just stuck. You know what I mean? You don't see beggars on Third Mainland Bridge in free flowing traffic. Why is that? Because the current is too much. They'll be swept away by the current. So here's my point. Where are your target demographic? What's your target demographic? And I need you to answer certain questions as an entrepreneur. Whether you're just starting or you are already in business and you're scaling. So these are some questions I need you to ask yourself. Number one, what is my product? What do I sell? Right? Write these down. What do I sell? What's my product? Okay. What's my product? Okay. Number two, who needs it? Okay. What's your product? Who needs it? All right. Next one, how will they find you? The people that need your product and service, how will they find you? Right? How will you find them? Kolawole. How will you find them? So what's your product? Who needs it? How will they find you? How will you find them? Where are they? Where are they located? These people that have your money, where are they? Okay. Another question, how much do they have? That is a very important question in business. How much do they have? How much do they have? All right, you there so far? Next, who are your competitors? Who are your competitors? Who's offering the same service tailored to the clients who have your money? Who are your competitors? And lastly, why should your customers do business with you? Or in simple terms, what makes you special? You got it? What makes you special? All right, so what's my product? Who needs it? How will they find you? How will you find them? How much money do they have? Where are they? Right? Where are they? Who are your competitors? All right, and what makes you special? Because I find a lot of entrepreneurs don't think about these questions. We just have an idea and it's shocking us. You know, our blood is hot, and then we go into the murky waters of entrepreneurship and we get our asses kicked. You know what I mean? And so it doesn't exactly work that way. So you've got to be able to sit down. You know, not all of us who are entrepreneurs go to business school. We didn't go to Stanford. We didn't go to Tulane. We didn't go to, Yale or Lagos Business School. We got into the school of hard knocks and we decided to just go go in there, but there are easier ways to do that, right? So you've got to be able to sit first and ask these questions, right? So that you have an idea of what you're looking at, right? So first off, back to the issue, think about it this way. You must be able to get the attention of your customers. Let me give you a very practical example. So in this, my 17 million naira journey, I had this idea to write a book. And I think I have the book here somewhere. Yes, I do. Here are two more books. I assure you, this is not a shameless advertisement plug. This is me. I'm not selling my market, so I'm teaching you how to secure the bag while selling my market. Okay, give me an example. All right, so I had this idea to write this book. All right, this is my first book. Check it out. My first book, right? So it's from college dropout to corporate sellout, my very first book. So I'm going somewhere with this. So I had this idea to write this book to tell, share my story, how I dropped out of school and the whole 9 yards. But then I said to myself, look, man, I want to write a book. I want to talk about, how I can inspire people and blah, blah, blah. But no one knows my name, right? I've got this amazing product, but no one knows my name because I'm Steve Harris and most people think I'm Steve Harvey. You know what I mean? So I thought about it and I said, how do I get attention for this book? And I had this big idea because I wanted my book to be carried or retailed by Laterna Ventures, which is a distributorship in Lekki, not in Lekki, in VI in Lagos. They distribute books. And I wanted my books to be retailed by Laterna because they got this really large network. But Laterna has quite a lot of bureaucracy in being able to get your books in, particularly if you're a Nigerian author, because again, unfortunately, most Nigerian authors, at the time were not very excellent. Their books were not of great quality. So they didn't just want any Tom, Dick, and I'm not going to say Harry because my name is Harris, but they didn't want any Tom, Dick, and Lassisi's book just in their shelves. And so I asked the question, if my book is on the shelf, right, and it's right beside T.D. Jakes, Joel Osteen, T.D. Jakes can sell a book. Just put, if the pages can be blank, but just his name, T.D. Jakes, will sell the book. You know what I mean? So if my book is right beside T.D. Jakes or John Maxwell or any of these other great, amazing authors, why would anyone pick my book up? It was a very important question. Why would anyone pick my book up? Because I knew my book was powerful. It could change the world. But why would anyone pick the book up? And so I knew that the first thing that would get their attention was the cover. So I designed this myself. Well, when I mean I designed it, I had this picture, this idea, and then the graphic designer designed this. But I had this idea that if anyone saw this book, they would most likely pick it up. And I wrote this book 10 years ago, by the way. Right. And so I knew the cover was very interesting. So I needed to do some sorts of market intelligence. And this is what many entrepreneurs don't do in order to secure the bag. We have this great idea. You're passionate about it. You just think because it's a great idea or you had a word from God, it's going to, it's just automatically going to fly. No, you've got to be able to do some market intelligence. You've got to be able to test it. Right. And so I remember then Facebook was all the rave. There was no Instagram. Twitter was barely picking up steam. And so I went on Facebook and I put the cover of my book down. And it wasn't the way we do it now, where you can just put a picture on Facebook and people would download it. I needed to know how many people would go to a link. So I went to the link. I created this bit.ly, B-I-T-L-Y link. No, was it bit.ly? One of those links. I don't remember. And I put the book there and I said, I've got, I want you guys to check out my new book. Long story short, I had over 500 downloads of the cover of this book. And so I said to myself, okay, that means I've got at least a market of 500 people who are interested in my book. At least they were interested enough to go and check it out and download it. So I had 500 downloads. Now I've got this great book, but it's not in the hands of, the major distributor, which is Laterna. And so what did I do? And this is the thing I want to teach you. When it comes to positioning and getting attention, you must create desire to drive demand for your product. Can I say this again? You must create desire that drives demand for your product. I'm going to say it one more time. You've got to create desire, and desire drives demand for your product. The problem many of us have when we launch our products and services is, and no one buys, is because there's no desire. Nobody wanted it in the first place. And you've not been able to tease us as to why we should buy your book. Excuse me. You know what I mean? So, think about it this way. You've never gone to a movie theater where there was no trailer for the movie. Well, maybe if it was a Nollywood movie, but even then Nollywood movies do that. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be able to drive desire. So every movie, before a movie comes out, there's a trailer. So right now, the biggest movies are Fast and Furious 9 or, The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, which is a really good movie, by the way. I highly recommend it because I watched it yesterday. But they create trailers that drive desire. And the trailers drive demand. Are we together so far? Right? So I needed to drive desire for this amazing book, which I knew could change thousands of lives, but no one had ever heard of. And I was not as popular as I am today, relatively. I was technically unknown at the time. So you know what I started doing? So I went on Facebook, and please forgive me, maybe a tad unethical, but it worked. But I went on Facebook then, and I started telling people, I said, listen, hey, get get my book. My book is available. Go to Laterna Ventures and go and get your copy of From College Dropout to Corporate Sellout. Go to Laterna and go grab your copy of From College Dropout. I didn't tag them, by the way. I just said go to Laterna because anyone Laterna to say, call me, hello, your book is not here. I just wrote their name. Go to Laterna to get a copy of my book. I had printed the book, but I wanted Laterna to carry it, and I wanted to be able to break the bureaucracy because, then at the time, and even still now, they had this review process. They had to read the book. If they didn't like it, it wouldn't fly. Had a lot of things, and which was quality control. Of course, you can't blame them. But I wanted to beat that because I knew the Laterna had the weight. They could move that weight. You know what I mean? So. Long story short, I was like, go to Laterna, go get my book. And people were going into Laterna. So they would ask, hey, Steve Harris's book. And Laterna had never heard of me. Obviously, like, duh, they didn't know who I was. So they were asking college dropouts. They have this book, College Dropout. They're like, no, we don't know this book, And ultimately what happened was the desire grew so much that ultimately every desire must be fulfilled. So once I knew that the rave was, Steve, Latina says they don't have your book. I said, maybe they've sold out, maybe they've sold out, maybe they've sold out, right? And long story short, by the time I got to Laterna, I sent my book, to their office, and they're like, oh, this is the book that people have been asking for. Please, can we have 100 copies, right? And we gave them 100 copies. They sold it in like 2 days. They're like, please, can you have another 100 copies? They sold it in like 2 days. Long story short, fellas, I tell you no lie. We supplied at the time slightly under 1,000 copies of my book to Laterna, and they sold it in 3 weeks. They were like, Steve Harris, your God shall be my God. You know what I mean? They sold 1,000 copies of my book in 3 weeks. Ultimately, I had to reprint another 1,000 copies and another 1,000 copies. So we sold 3,000 copies of this amazing book in 1 year. Now, how did we do that, right? In order to get the attention of the customer, I positioned myself, right? And then by positioning myself, what did I do? Remember, I got their attention, and I got their attention by creating desire that ultimately drove demand for my products. I'm hoping this is making sense. I'm hoping you guys are with me, because I don't see the comments. I'm not sure the comments. If this is making sense, guys, just type sense, man. Just type some sense. Yeah. So that's the kind of thing that I was able to do. So let me give you another example, practical example. My second book. All right. Second book. It's called. Hold on a second. It's called From Friend to Fiance. Why are my earphones falling off? I don't use earphones, so bear with me. All right, awesome. So I wrote my second book. It's called From Friend to Fiance. It's for ladies, and it says how to get him to want you without letting him know that you want him to want you. Can I say that again? Ladies, you need to grab your copy. How to get him to want you. Well, the ladies are not supposed to be here. How to get him to want you without letting him know that you want him to want you. And I've sold over 5,000 copies of this book, Moyo Sore. How did I do this? Right? Very simple. How did this book come about? And this book didn't come about because I wanted to write it. So it came out because I found there was desire that drove demand. How did this work? Thank you, Cyrus. How did this work? I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who was single at the time. She was like, Steve, there's this guy I like. He's fantastic. He's 100 yards of husband material, but he's friend zoned me. This nigga don't even see me the way I see him. He's just friend zoned. He's treating me like his Christian sister. And I like this brother. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be a sister. I want him to be my brother. I sat down with her and I chatted with her. These were in the days of BlackBerry, right? When we were using BlackBerry. And I sat down with her and I started chatting with her. And I said, oh, do this, do this, do this. I'm sorry, guys, I had to break the bro code. So I gave it 100 to her. These are the things we need to do for the guys to get his attention. And I said, it's going to work in about a week. And when it does work, holler back at me. He's going to be, holler back in about a week. A couple of days later, she hollers at me. She's like, Steve, he is eating out of my hands. I don't know what it is. And she says, Steve, you should write a book. And when she said that, I was like, interesting. And I was like, okay. Not a bad idea, but I needed to test my product. I needed to create some market intelligence so that I can secure the bag. So you know what I did? I went to Twitter, Michael, and I started tweeting and I started using the hashtag From Friend to Fiance, which is the title of the book, From Friend to Fiance. And within 2 hours of tweeting, I did a thread. Within 2 hours of tweeting, I was trending in Lagos, and I was trending in Nigeria. I think from that post alone, I got over 600 followers. Most of them were women. And, the ladies were saying things like, if you're not following Steve Harris, you're sitting on a bicycle. Steve Harris is amazing, yada, yada. And yes, I am amazing. I'm half man and half amazing. So I put them all out there and the ladies were like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. And with all the chatter, what it said to me was ka-ching, ching. I was like, there's money here. Because money is currency. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Money is currency. It flows. So when you are at a particular frequency, you can tap into the currency that is money. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Money is current. It moves. That's why it's called currency. It's moving from one point to the other. So the moment I noticed that there was a frequency of emotion and energy. The moment there was energy, I knew that there was currency. So where energy goes, currency flows. Can I say that again? Where energy goes, guys, currency flows. So think about it. Right now, the buzzword for most people is crypto, crypto, crypto. Whether you understand it or not, energy has gone there. So it's like someone is splashing in the water, and it's just there are ripples and they're splashing in the water. So where energy goes, currency flows. Now it doesn't matter whether or not people understand it. What they're seeing is the energy, and where energy goes, currency flows. So the moment I noticed that there was energy around those tweets that I put out, I said to myself, there's currency in this. And then I very quick see it. I didn't do the whole, sometimes it takes people 5 years to write a book like George R.R. Martin with the Game of Thrones series. We're still waiting for his 5th book, and it's taken him like 5 years. I didn't do none of that. I was like, this book was done in 3 weeks. Fam, you don't get me what I'm saying. This book was done in 3 weeks. At least I have chapters, like I have a page. One chapter is like 1 page. There's 17 secrets in this book, and it's like 17 chapters, and it's not like a big hurly burly book. It's and again, I also noticed, and this is the thing about understanding buyer psychology. You must understand buyer psychology, guys. What do I mean by that? So for example, because I'm a thought leader, a lot of my currency, a lot of my products and services are intangible. So I work with my brain to create value. So it's not like I'm buying and selling, if you know what I mean. I'm not buying and selling. I use my brain, and my brain creates products. Some of them are turned into books. So I understand buyer psychology. What do I mean by that? I know, for example, that the average Nigerian may not like to read. And there's this thing that we subconsciously do when we buy a book or when we see a book. When we see a book, the first thing is the cover. We look at the cover. So the cover makes an impression, fantastic. We look at the back page, it makes an impression, fantastic. Then we do this thing. We go to the last page. I don't know if you've ever done this before. We go to the last page and we look at how many number of pages in the last page. And when we do this math, we say, how many years will it take me to read this book? Okay, this book has 120 pages. Okay, if it has 120 pages, I can possibly read this book in 1 week if I'm not serious, 3 days if I'm serious, hypothetically. And then we take the book and then we weigh the book. Like if it's too heavy, I can't. If it's too heavy, I will never finish it. If it's too light, okay. So this book is light. And another thing that I did, I made sure that this book could be put into a woman's purse. I didn't want a big hurly burly book. I wanted a book that a woman could hide and put inside a magazine or put inside a book. Because the average woman, when she's reading this book, she doesn't want any other guy to know what she's got in store. You know what I'm saying? So she's going to take this book and put it in another book and be reading it. Do you get what I mean? And that's understanding buyer psychology. Ayomidi says, yes, I checked the number of pages before picking it up. So I understand buyer psychology. So listen, guys, where energy goes, currency flows, right? So if you're not in that place where you're looking at the energy, right, people are not going to buy. So we've talked about attention and being able to secure the bag, right? The second thing is you've got to be able to create conversation and connection, right? You've got to be able to create conversation and connection. So right now, there are two, depending on whatever you follow, right? There are two major energy centers right now, generally depending on what you follow. One center is the Euros, Euro 2020, or is it 2021? I don't know. The Euros right now, the football tournament. That's one energy. That's one center of energy right now. Another center of energy is Big Brother, Big frigging Brother, right? Love them or hate them, you cannot ignore them. And I think Big Brother is a very successful business model because Big Brother just understands buyer psychology. You know what I mean? When you do the math and you think about how much Big Brother makes, you would be appalled. But they make a heck of a lot of money. And Big Brother is a great energy center at the moment. Why? Because Big Brother is generating conversation. So what is it about your business? What are you doing with your business that generates conversation? You know what I mean? And that's something that I find many entrepreneurs don't know how to do. You don't know how to articulate or communicate the value you deliver. that it generates conversation. If you're a footballer or if you like football, the argument will be, oh, who's the better player, Ronaldo or Messi? Who's going to score more goals in the Euros? Is it Ronaldo or Messi? Is it Lukaku? Is it De Bruyne? Yada, 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 yada. Is it Gareth Bale? Well, Gareth Bale is out right now. You know what I'm saying? Those are arguments. It's creating conversation. So is your business creating conversation? Now, how do you create conversation, right? One way you can do it, and you've got to make sure you have the cojones to handle this. One way you can do this is I talk about, if you follow me, and if you're not following me, I don't know who you've been following. So please repent, change your ways. I am Steve Harris. That's the handle. Make sure I know the moderator is going to see. It's going to be on the screen. I am Steve Harris. Go forgive yourself and go follow me right now. All right, check it out. But one of the ways you can easily create conversation with your business. I teach this series called Economic Bible Studies. I'm really, I'm not a pastor, but me and Jesus are pretty cool. And from time to time, I get, inspired to teach something from Scripture that is biblical, that has biblical economics attached to it. See, right there. You see, right? Okay, this is it. Yeah, camera. Yeah, right there. I'm Steve Harris. Follow. All right. And so I teach things from the Bible that he opens my mind to concerning business. And one of the things that resonates with me a lot is, you've got to go against the Goliaths in your field. One way to generate conversation, my friends, is go against the Goliaths in your field. So for example, in Scripture, we know the story of David and Goliath, right? In reality, the story should be Goliath and David, because David has the headline in that story because he killed Goliath. But if it went south, it would be Goliath and David, because in reality, how come the giant, the bigger brand has the smaller addendum, while the smaller person has the bigger brand? So, your brand is not about size. I'm going to say that again. Your brand is not about your size. The smaller person has the bigger brand. The bigger person has the smaller brand. So we see David and Goliath. It's not by size. In reality, it should be Goliath and David if it was by size. But how come David is in that story apart from the fact that he won? It's simply because David went toe-to-toe against the giant. You know what I mean? So there are giants in your industry. So I'll give you an example. And, in business, we talk about something called competitive advantage or competitive leverage. And there are three, well, generally there could be more, but there are three defined paths to competitive leverage. So one path is cost. So you can compete based on cost. Another, another part is focus. You can decide to serve, the upper echelon. You can decide to serve the 1%, or you can decide to serve the 99%. That's a strategy. Another strategy is differentiation. How are you different from everyone else, right? But bringing this to the story of David and Goliath, and I'm not going to go into it because of time. My point is this: you can look for the Goliaths in your industry and go toe-to-toe against them. Now, what do I mean by going toe-to-toe? You start talking about the giants until the giants start talking about you. Oh, you don't hear me what I'm saying. I'm going to say that again. You start talking about the giants until the giants start talking about you. Now, what do I mean by that? So David is in the story, and, Goliath is looking for somebody who is his adversary, who is his equal, and he doesn't see anyone. And then, when David shows up to the battle, he's like, are you kidding? You guys got to be kidding me, right? Is this the puny guy that you're bringing? I mean, this dude don't even have a sword. He don't even have a shield. This kid don't even have armor. You guys are really kidding me? Is this the guy you're bringing to go toe-to-toe? I am disappointed. You insult me, Israel. I feel insulted that you guys brought a shepherd. This dude does not even have armor. You know what I mean? And he's expecting someone to go toe-to-toe with him. And long story short, David is taking shots at Goliath, and Goliath ultimately starts, taking shots at David, which begins to get David acknowledged, as the case may be. So if you start talking about the giants until the giant starts talking about you, that's one way, because now people are going to be saying, so give you an example. It's like, who do I use? It's like, give you an example. So, if you follow boxing, so there was a recent bout between Floyd Mayweather and some YouTube guy. I think they just did it for show, but they both got paid. But so this YouTuber, Logan Paul, I think his name was Logan Paul, and Logan just kept going on and on about the fact that he could take out Floyd Mayweather, This dude ain't no boxer. He's a YouTuber. It's like he could go against Floyd and Floyd Mayweather is undefeated, 50 fights undefeated. And he was like, he wants to have a fight with him. And guess what? He keeps talking about having a fight with the biggest and the best and the baddest in the world until Mayweather now accepts his request. And he just says, let's just do it for the fun of it. I'm going to knock this guy out in one round. It's just going to be fun. Let's just do it. You know what I mean? And long story short, they both had a fight. Maybe it wasn't a really serious fight. So I'm sure Mayweather had to pull his punches, but they both got paid at the end of the day. Now, that guy can claim, even though he was not a boxer, that he went toe-to-toe with the giant in the industry, which is Floyd Money Mayweather. You need to start talking about the giants until the giants start talking about you. Until they start talking about you, my friend. Somebody says you love my bracelets. Thank you. You can get me some more. These are a really cool gift. Thank you. Thank you, Thomason. All right. Abimbala says sense overload. Ahibe Wilford says, deep. Thank you. All right. So you know what I'm saying? So you got to start talking. You need to start talking about the giants until the giants start talking about you. So it creates conversation. Another thing that I realized that many entrepreneurs don't do in order to secure the bag, because we're guys, right? So let's keep it 100. Every man wants a woman that every other man wants. I'm going to say that again. And I'm sure you're wondering, what the hell is Steve on about? Bear with me. Every man wants a woman that every other man wants. Guys, you know what I'm talking about, where you see that chick and she's pretty, and if nobody is toasting her, you're not interested. There's something about it. I don't know what it is, but there's this, like the way we're wired. You see a girl and no one is hitting on her. Subconsciously, we're like, maybe she's damaged goods. Maybe she's got issues. The fact that no one wants her is a red flag to us. But when other men want the woman that you're with, or wants this woman, for some weird reason, we are like, you know what? I want her. She's her sex appeal, her desirability factor has just gone up to the max. Why? Because most other people want her. Every man wants a woman that every other man wants. I mean, think about it. My crush is Rihanna. I know I'm never going to have her. Forget the fact that I'm married. My wife knows Rihanna's my crush. My wife's crush is Aquaman, Jason Momoa, with a long, flowy hair and beard. My wife would leave me in an instant if she sees Jason Momoa. You know what I'm saying? So every man wants a woman that every other man wants. In the same vein, every customer wants a brand that every other customer wants. Can I say that again? Every customer wants a brand that every other customer wants. So if the rave, for example, is the iPhone 19, even before it's out, they create desire, demand increases, and everybody else wants it. They want to be on that bandwagon. They also want to have that. They're afraid of that FOMO, fear of missing out. They don't want to miss out. They don't want people to say that they're a JJC or that they're losers because they don't have what every other person wants. Every customer wants the business or brand that every other customer wants. You get me what I'm saying? It reminds me of this strategy that I think it wasn't Mountain Dew, but I think it was a soda company. They were into energy drinks. I think it was Monster, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was Monster Soda. And they wanted to drive demand for their energy drinks, even though nobody knew their energy drinks were out there, so to speak. So you know what they did? Very, very simple. You know what they did? They bought a lot of their cans, and they went to certain places, and then they took some of their soda cans and squeezed them and threw them in the trash. So they squeezed their soda cans, threw them in the trash, threw some on the floor. Of course, that's littering and everything, but they threw them. So it gave the impression that people were drinking their energy drinks, and of course, drinking them. I mean, obviously, it's like when you drink I don't know. Some people may or may not do that. But when you drink, for example, so when I drink, for example, Coca-Cola in a can, I like to squeeze it when I'm done. Like squeeze it, I'm like, yeah, I did it, and thrash it. That's what we do. Or like some people do with pure water. You drink pure water in the back, you squeeze it like, yeah, and then you trash it. So what they did was that they had so many energy cans crumpled. It gave the impression that many people were drinking Monster Energy. You know what I mean? Because of the number of cans that were littered all over the place, right? So my point really is this, guys, right? Are you creating conversation? Every customer, write this down, every customer wants a brand that every other customer wants. Okay? So we've talked about attention. Thank you, Immerse. We've talked about attention. Now we've talked about conversation. Another thing, still with that C, is connection. If you want to secure the bag in 2021, fellas, you've got to create connection. How do you connect with your customers? Your customers have to feel that they're part of something bigger than just what you're selling. Can I say that again? Your customers have to feel like they're part of something bigger than just what you're selling. You know what I mean? So for example, think about it. Manchester United, Arsenal, Tottenham, Liverpool, Real, Barcelona, all these football clubs, right? They have created, and this is the third part, they have created connection that is driven by community. I'm going to say this again. They have created connection that is driven by the third C, which is community, right? So when you see someone, let's say you're a Liverpool fan, and you're wearing a Liverpool jersey, and you walk by the mall and you see another dude wearing a Liverpool jersey, both of you look at each other like, yeah, you never walk alone, brother. You and I we're in this together. You know what I'm saying? There's a sense of community. You may never get to know his name. You may not be interested, but because you're wearing his jersey or the Liverpool jersey of a team that both of you support, both of you are more inclined to have rapport and connection. You know what I'm saying? So understand this in the marketing of these football clubs. So for example, Manchester United is not trying to attract Arsenal fans. You get me what I'm saying? Man U is not trying to attract Arsenal fans. Barcelona is not trying to attract Real Madrid fans. So my point is this: what is the community that your business is promoting? Right? Who is their enemy? You know what I'm saying? Who is the anti? So for every Real Madrid, we know that the arch enemy of Real, for example, is Barcelona. You know what I mean? Manchester United versus Manchester City. Arsenal versus maybe Tottenham or Chelsea. They all have their sworn enemies. You know what I'm saying? Someone says I did mention Chelsea. I just did. Don't worry. Forget about Chelsea. They don't really matter. It's a fluke. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. But yes. But you know what I'm saying? Manchester United is not trying to attract Arsenal fans. So what community are you creating? Who is your enemy, so to speak? Who is your arch rival? Who's the person that stands in opposition to all you hold near and dear? For every apple, there is Windows. Do you get what I'm saying? So they've picked their battles. So Windows and Apple are going to, so Apple does not consider, and this is no disrespect, Apple does not consider Dell or Techno or IBM their competitors. No, they do not. Apple has said, if it's the phones, Apple has said our competitors are all Android phones. Put all of you together, you're not equal to one Apple device. In the computing industry, it is Apple versus Mac. It is Pepsi versus Coca-Cola. It is WWE versus, at the time, maybe WCW at the time. You know what I'm saying? You've got to be able to identify what community are we creating that our customers have a connection to. The businesses that will thrive, that will help you secure the bag, are businesses that will build conversation, connection, and community. All right. And lastly, T. And I'm sure, I don't know if you guys will have questions as I go on. Lastly, T is transactions, right? You've got to turn all these beautiful things into transactions. Are you selling? How much? Drop in the comments. How much did your business make yesterday? Write it down. Drop it in the comments. No BS. How much did your business make yesterday? Write it down. I can tell you how much my business made yesterday. Let me look at the numbers so that I can also participate in this thing with you. My business did okay. My business did, hold on a second. I'm just trying to be balanced with you guys. My business did 131,305 naira, as well as a $500 sale. So I did 131,305 naira, as well as a $500 sale. That's how much my business made yesterday. Now, my point is this: if your business is not selling, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? If your business is not selling, if you're not turning into transactions, what are you doing? And remember, it's not just by asking for the sales. You've got to be able to generate relationships with your transactions. People think about it this way. I don't care whatever you do, whatever your business does, but think about it from this perspective. What problem should people have for your business to be the solution? Yeah. Ayobami says 15K. Thank you, Ayobami. Right? What problem should people have for your business, for your name to be the solution? You know what I mean? And do you know that businesses that are specialists make more money than businesses that are generalists? I'm going to say that again. Businesses that are specialists make more money than businesses that are generalists, right? So if you go to a general hospital, you have a headache, they'll give you aspirin or something or the other. But if you need surgery for maybe like a neurological disorder or, chemotherapy or brain surgery or foot surgery, they'll say, oh, we have to wait for the specialist to come. If it's a generalist, you can walk in and even the nurses, no disrespect to them, even the nurses can treat you because even nurses are certified to treat you. Right? The nurses and a random doctor, any Tom, Dick, I'm not going to say Harry, any Tom, Dick, and Sissy who's a doctor can treat you. But when it comes for a specialist, they will wait. So my point is this: let me put it this way. Do you have a customer chasing strategy or do you have a customer attraction strategy? Let me say it again. Do you have a customer chasing strategy or do you have a customer attraction strategy? Because if you have a customer chasing strategy, the customer determines the price. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. It's like, the girl you've been chasing, I hope this does not sound chauvinistic, but we're fellas, so bear with me. It's like the girl you've been chasing this chick, you've been asking her out. The day she now finally agrees for you, she's the one who determined the price. Do you get what I'm saying? She had mercy on your soul. You know what I'm saying? Right? But it's different if it was the girls that were chasing you. Do you get what I'm saying? So when you're chasing the customers determine the price. When the customers are chasing you, you determine the price. That's how you secure the bag. So are you chasing the customers or are the customers chasing you? And I think for a lot of us who are entrepreneurs, we are chasing our customers. Think about it. The brands that make billions and billions and billions of dollars, Apple is not chasing the customers. The customers are chasing Apple. You know what I mean? All Apple needs to do, Tim Cook just comes up and he just does another Apple conference. I don't know what they call those conferences or keynotes. And he puts something out there, says, this is the new Apple 15, Apple X5, maybe, Apple X5. And all of a sudden, everybody goes crazy. And we're waiting for the launch of this new tech like it's a movie. We're counting down for this thing to come up. And they don't need to do too much work. We come out by ourselves and we queue, especially if it's in Europe or in the Western world, we line up. Some people sleep over because they want to be the first to get the Apple products, whatever they're selling. They have a customer attraction strategy. You have a customer chasing strategy. It's like Ferrari. Most of the biggest brands, they don't necessarily, it's like Coca-Cola, you know what I mean? Right? So my point is this, do you have a customer attraction strategy, or are your customers chasing you? Because if you're chasing the customers, customers determine the price. If your customers are chasing you, you determine the price. But then you've got to learn all these emotional triggers, FOMO, fear of missing out, scarcity, exclusivity. I mean, think about it this way. Petrol, fuel, gas is, I don't know, in Nigeria at the moment, maybe depending on where you buy it, it's about 160 quid, 160 bucks to a gallon or something like that. But in times of fuel scarcity, right? When the fuel is scarce, the price of the fuel goes up. So it may be 160 bucks right now, but God forbid, in the fuel scarcity, it goes to 400 bucks. And guess what? You will pay. You will pay. Why? Because they've gone from customer chasing to customer attraction. Do you get what I mean? Because scarcity, the moment something is scarce, it attracts more value. So you hear that, maybe Mercedes is, creating, or Lamborghini is creating an exclusive, or Bugatti is creating this exclusive limited version, limited edition. And they're only making 100. They're only 100 in the world, right? All of a sudden, because it's that scarce and that exclusive, the price goes up. But Toyota, no disrespect to them, Toyota is everywhere. There's Toyota Muscle, Honda, I don't know the names of the cars we call them. Honda Muscle, Toyota Ugly, is it Ugly Light or Blue? I don't know. But you get what I'm saying, all these kinds of things, right? So what have you got? Do you have a customer attraction strategy? Or do you have a customer chasing strategy? You know what I mean? So I don't know if Phil is still there. I hope I pronounced your name, bro, Phil. But hey, I don't know. I don't want to talk for too much, just in case there are questions. So let me know if this has made some sense. But I hope this has made some sense so far. And I hope you've been able to get some things. Yes, pencil light. There we go. Akimbade, pencil light. All those freaking things we call it, pencil light. Tiny lights, muscle, I don't know, but for Bugatti and all those kind of cars, they don't have none of those kind of cars. They don't call them pencil or whatever it is. Phil, talk to me, bro.
Thank you so much, sir. We are, drowning light, actually, really. And what I love about your session, sir, is the practicality. Okay, so guys, the Ruthless Executionist has given you the blueprint. So what do we say to him before we begin to pop out our questions? I want you to express your profound appreciation to him. Funny enough, sir, I was in one of your sessions when you said when you told us how you started out, that you realized that hampers don't buy Pampers.
Yeah, hampers don't buy Pampers, man.
Yeah, and then that was how you started the whole mastering the business of your talent. If you guys remember what Jimmy Terry said yesterday, that the person who told us that chase your passion wasn't lying. It wasn't just a total, package. That wasn't the total package. You weren't taught how to do the business of your passion, and that's what we have been taught this today. That's what Steve Harris has actually explained to us. Actually, you have to start with what is your product. You have to learn how to connect, create I like everything about you.
Thank you.
I follow you. I love everything about you. The swag,
I got a lot of swag. It's a problem.
And it's telling, really.
Thank you, bro.
Okay, guys, so please ask your question. Feel free to post your question right now. You know how we do it. First come, first serve. So please put your questions in the comment section, and let's begin to so yeah, someone says, thank you so much. I have followed you for 5 years now, and you keep bringing it fresh every time. Thank you, boss.
Thank you very much, Ben Lagos. Thank you.
Olaibade says your session makes so much sense with detailed practical procedure. Of course.
Thank you,
sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Someone says thank you for this insight. Too much to process. Have to get it again. Of course. I couldn't even write. I was like, okay, I have to sit down with this thing and then break it down. Yeah, you definitely need to get a course. Okay, thank you, Mr. So I'm waiting for your question, guys. Bring up your questions. Bring up your questions based on what has been shared, or if you have, anything in or outside of what has been shared tonight, you're free to ask. All right. So, sir, maybe I should ask you one while we're waiting for the audience to pop in their question. When you spoke about raising conversations and all of that, I want to ask: is he applicable to all types of businesses?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. One of the things I find that many entrepreneurs aren't very good at is marketing. And like I always say, thank you, Michael. Michael Backeray, what's up, bro? One of the things that I recognize that many entrepreneurs, don't figure out is how to market. And marketing is an introduction of value. Marketing is Marketing is selling to your customers, deep, dark fantasies. You know what I mean? So what are your customers really, really talking about? What do they really, 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 really want? So give you an example. So I work out, and I've been trying to work out a lot more consistently. So I go to the gym 3 days a week, and I'm pumping iron and doing all that. Now, somebody will look at me and say, oh, Steve is doing all of this because he wants to be healthy. Yeah, on the surface, but not really. I'm not going to the gym because I really want to be healthy. I mean, healthy is great, but healthy is just a byproduct. I'm going to the gym because I want to be able to torment other guys. So I want to be able to take my shirt off in public. And guys are like, Jesus Christ, come on, man, put it back. Come on, what is wrong with you? Why are you trying to oppress us? So let me put it this way. I want to oppress guys and I want to impress girls. So let me use it from that perspective. I'm married, so I'm not impressing anyone. My wife is the only woman I'm impressing, but you get what I'm saying. So I'm working out at the gym because I want to oppress guys and I want to impress girls. So I'm not doing it because I want to be healthy. So for example, if you're a fitness instructor and you're saying, oh no, Steve, I'll make you healthy. I'm like, see, nigga, health is not what I'm thinking about, fam. I'm not trying to be healthy. I want to oppress feel. You know what I'm saying? I want him to look at my arms and like, oh God. Now what for you? See how you just feel everywhere. That's what I'm looking for. That is my deep, dark desire. And every customer has one. So you've got to be able to look at it and say, can you talk? So, again, it's like when I tell ladies, when ladies are buying lingerie, Victoria's Secret's lingerie, they're not buying it because they want to be comfortable. We are buying. I mean, let me not speak about let me use guys. So, back in the day, we'll buy boxers and we buy, Tommy Hilfiger or Calvin Klein's. So we buy Calvins. We're not buying Calvins because we want to be comfortable. We're buying Calvins that the day that we sag, anybody will see it's Calvin Klein. You know what I'm saying? So those are your deep, dark desires. So you've got to learn how to create conversation that way.
Thank you so much. You have answered this question on the screen. Actually, the guy is saying, can you share more light on how to create conversation in growing a drowning business? And that was exactly what I asked. And by the way, inside gist, when I was trying to collate your pictures yesterday for this, I was tormented.
That means I'm doing my work well. I'm doing my work. Wait until you see me. And of
course, I saw your story yesterday on Instagram. And I'm like, God, am I ever going to? Okay, sir.
God when.
God when. It's a typical situation of God when. All right. Someone is asking, thank you so much, sir. My question is, how do you consistently make transactions if your business is a service offering business rather than sales? For example, Public Speaking Academy doesn't really sell daily.
Well, I disagree with you, Hezekiah. Public speaking sells daily. You're just not selling correctly. And I don't mean any disrespect from that. So for example, are you marketing? Are you running ads? Do you have a list? Do you run a sales funnel? You know what I mean? So if you say public speaking doesn't sell daily, it's probably because maybe you think you have to put yourself in front of people physically to sell daily. But you can have ads running where people buy an ebook. It could be a $5 ebook, a $10 ebook, or whatever the case may be. But if you target your ads to the right demographic of people and help them understand, because again, when you're targeting your ads and your marketing, it's different marketing messages for different audiences. So for example, if you're targeting your public speaking messages to a corporate clientele, the message is not public speaking. They're not trying to buy public speaking. What they're paying for, they're going to be paying for things like how to close sales, how to have marketing pitches with the clients. Those are the things that they hear. So if you say public speaking to a corporate organization, they're thinking of, no disrespect, aspire to perspire. But when you say to them, oh, we're helping you guys with business communication, that's public speaking, but that's the language they understand it as. So if you did ads, for example, you're saying, so if you're marketing to a corporate clientele or the corporate audience, your ebook or whatever you're selling is business communication, or how to close the sale in 5 simple steps, how to pitch this, you would rephrase your marketing message to the audience that you're with. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just a one size fits all. So my point is, if you're marketing correctly, then you can also get to sell daily. Do you have an sales funnel? Do you have an email list? Are you offering something for free that I can opt into and get a freebie? And then over a period of 5 days, I get a bunch of emails or text messages that ultimately leads me into a sale. That's how I do it. And that's how you can do it too.
All right. Thank you, sir. Someone is asking, how can I create customer attraction strategy without spending a ton on advertising from a startup perspective?
Well, I mean, from a startup perspective, when it comes to creating customer attraction without spending a heck of a lot of money, first off, don't be afraid to spend money. Money well spent will go really, really a long way. Let me give you a real example, really, really good example. So many years ago, an organization hired consultants to turn around their business. They were in the sardine business, or they were in the sardine business, and they were the underdogs. The brand that had the monopoly, the brand that had the monopoly were selling pink sardines. Okay, their sardines were pink. The underdogs were selling white sardines, and people weren't buying, but people preferred the monopolies, as the case may be. So they hired this consultant who looked through everything, and he tweaked their marketing with only 5 words. He tweaked their marketing with only 5 words, and all he said was, guaranteed not to turn pink. I'm going to say that again. Guaranteed not to turn pink. Now, in saying those 5 words, remember that David and Goliath thing. David went against Goliath. The underdog went against the monopoly, right? So everyone knew who they were talking about, pink sardine, right? And in saying guaranteed not to turn pink, automatically the customers did the rest. The customers started saying, oh my God, could it be possible that there's something wrong with pink sardine? Maybe it's the chemicals, or maybe because the fish. That's true, because when the fish come out of water, they're this color, and all of a sudden, maybe they use all these chemicals and The customers did all the work. And you know what happened? People started buying white sardine because it was guaranteed not to turn pink. So my point is, that doesn't cost a lot of money, but then you need experts like me who can sift behind all the stuff that you do and all your competitors do and create that blue ocean where people are just that's a customer attraction strategy. They didn't do too much, just guaranteed not to turn pink. You know what I mean? So that's where, so don't think about running away from spending money. It's just spending money in the right places. So I hope that helps.
All right, sir. Thank you. Someone is asking here, what are the top 3 most important skills to master for business success, irrespective of the business?
Authenticity. Authenticity, be yourself. Don't apologize for being as awesome as you are. Integrity. Your word is bond. You say something, you execute on it. And number 3, overpromise and over-deliver. People say, don't under-promise and over-promise and over-deliver. When I tell clients that I'm the first coach you should have come to, and I'm the last you will ever need. It sounds like a very arrogant statement. So, Steve, are you saying like you're the Jesus of this game? I'm like, yeah, kind of, because the Bible says that when the woman with the issue of blood, and this is classic customer attraction, the Bible says that the woman with the issue of blood had spent her money on other doctors. And when they had used her for trial and error and wasted her money, the Bible says that she had spent all her living. And then she heard about Jesus. So there was a little bit of advertising there. And the advertising was based on his results. So it wasn't about his message. The message that came to her was he was a healer. So it wasn't the message was he was a teacher. Because that's what I was talking about now, that your marketing messages must be tailored to different audiences. So the message that she heard, that when she saw it in the Facebook ad or the Instagram ad, the sponsored post, she saw Jesus the healer is coming to this location. She was like, this is the guy I'm looking for. If it was Jesus the teacher, she's like, I don't want any long message. I'm looking for healing. So she saw the sponsored post, Jesus the healer. So Phil, guess what happened? Remember, we're talking about customer attraction. And I believe this woman had money. She wasn't broke. Let me explain to you. So this woman sees the sponsored post and then she pays for a flight. Now, I don't believe if it was the 21st century, she doesn't go in economy. Why do I believe that? Because the Bible says she had an issue of blood. And in Jewish culture, she will be ceremonially unclean. So she could not sit with people. Therefore, she's probably in first class or in a private jet. It has to be one of those two. She's in first class or she's in a private jet. She's not sitting with anyone because she's ceremonially unclean. She lands, probably gets an Uber. Let's go with an Uber. She gets an Uber, goes to her hotel, drops her stuff, goes to change, and then she gets into an Uber, takes her to the crusade ground. Now, when she gets to the crusade ground, she sees thousands of people who are there. Everybody's looking for a healing. Now, personally, I don't believe that she's going to have to now start shouting with everybody else. This is a woman of worth. This is a woman of means. This is a woman that has money. What's she going to do? She's going to find the people that can influence her to get to the front. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. She wants to now say, how do I get to the front? She meets the usher, say, look, take me to Jesus. I'll make it worth your while. How do I know this? Because the Bible says once Jesus was preaching and Philip came to meet him and said, Lord, Master, the Greeks, that your message has gone around the world. People from Greece have come. The people from Greece told Jesus' disciple that we are here. So they came to tell him that, see, these boys from America are here. These guys have money. They have come to Nigeria for this crusade. Information was brought to him. So she gets one guy. The guy takes her to the front where Jesus is, and then she does the rest. That is what you call a customer attraction strategy. Guess what? Jesus didn't chase her. One simple sponsored post that got her attention, she did the rest. Do you get what I mean? So overpromise and overdeliver.
You just over answered this question. Thank you, sir. And he's also, the same guy is also asking, how can he get into a course with you?
Well, I have a program that is starting on the 1st of July. It's called Mastering the Business of Your Talent. It's a business coaching program. It runs for 6 weeks. It's online. And my goal is to help everyone who joins that program to make their highest sales yet. In the last iteration, I had in the December iteration of the program, we generated 756 million naira from 230 odd entrepreneurs. In the February edition, we generated 1.6 billion naira from 200 entrepreneurs. It was their money. I brought the money out of them by fire, by force. And I'm going to do that in July 1st for the 3rd edition of this class. It is not a cheap course because my results are not cheap. But if you're interested, please send me a DM and let's have a conversation.
All right. Thank you, sir. So this person is asking, what advice will you give to a startup e-commerce brand in Nigeria as it relates to taking on your Goliath? How do you advise I go after such?
Well, when it comes to e-commerce, one of the biggest things is about distribution. You know what I mean? So how can you distribute better than your competition? What edge in terms of distribution do you have? Even if you don't have a lot, you know what I mean? So you've got to be able to look at it and say, answer it this way. What is your Goliath doing that is frustrating your customers? Sorry, I'll say that again. What is Goliath doing to frustrate their customers? And what is Goliath doing to wow their customers? The answer is in between both. What is Goliath doing that frustrates their customers and drives them crazy? That's going to be your blue ocean. What does Goliath do to wow their customers? If they're doing something to wow them, then you now know that, okay, I need to take some of this and incorporate to what we're doing. But then the sweet spot is what they're doing that frustrates and drives their customers crazy. There's this saying that I love. It says, back in the days in the 17 and 1800s, where people were prospecting for gold in the Midwest. And people were just finding gold and all over the U.S. and gold prospecting was a big thing. They were gold mining. Somebody once said that wherever there's a gold rush, don't sell gold, sell shovels. I'll say that again. Where there's a gold rush, don't sell gold, sell shovels. Why? Everyone else is chasing gold. Then sell the equipment that they're going to use to get the gold. Sell shovels, because shovels was what they were using. So in this case, you can't compete with, for example, Jumia and Co. at being Jumia. You can't. So why don't you now say, okay, where are they screwing up? And that's where I'm going to now offer value in the end.
Wow. Thank you. All right. Side comments. Someone says he's a fitness instructor. You're speaking his language.
There we go.
Right. Another person is saying he couldn't get your book. I don't know why a man is searching for your book. I don't understand.
It's probably his wife or his girlfriend using his man's account. But you can check my website. So it's iamsteveharris.com. It's on my website, www.iamsteveharris.com. It's right there.
Okay. Someone is saying, how were you able to mentally overcome that point in your life when you left your job and was left with 20K with family?
I was scared to death, man. I'm not even going to lie. I was scared to death. But I needed to remember, and this is the thing that I'll say to you, that wealth is not the amount of money in your bank account. Wealth is your ability to attract money to your bank account. Can I say that again? Wealth is not the amount of money in your bank account. Wealth is your ability to attract money to your bank account. So I knew that, I had 17 days to turn my life around and, something had to give. I could have decided to be frustrated. And don't forget, because somebody may say, oh, so you could have just gotten a job. Perhaps, but, my case is unique. I dropped out of school, not once, twice. So I'm in a class all by myself, so I couldn't go and apply for a job, so to speak. They'll say, bring your paper. I don't have paper. You know what I mean? So, but I think having been, faced with, impending doom caused me to sit up and look up. The Bible says, what's that scripture again? Oh, dear Lord, what is it? It's one of my favorite scriptures. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. And it calls me to look up to the one that is higher than I. And asking myself those tough questions, because, when you're this broke, you can't be blaming Buhari for your problems. You got to ask yourself some tough questions like, nigga, why can we not make money? What am I doing wrong? What are my mates doing right? What should I be selling? What are people buying? When you ask those kinds of questions, if you sit down with a notepad and be asking yourself those hard questions, how come I've never made $1 million? It is a question. As a man, it is a question. If you've never made $1 million once in your account, and it's not money that somebody gave you to pay off for something, that you did not exchange value, that $1 million came into your bank account, it is a question. How come I've never been able to earn $1 million at once? It's a question. If it's 500K, how come I've never been able to earn 500K at once? It's a question, right? If you've got to ask yourself these kinds of questions. Why am I living in a face me, I face you? It is a question. You know what I mean? You've got to ask yourself these kinds of tough questions that will upset you, right? But when you're faced with the real truth and the rawness of it, right, then you will now realize that maybe there are certain limiting beliefs. It's not village people. There are certain limiting beliefs that you probably have that are standing in your way to being able to to experience more that God has for you. Get teaching. Surround yourself with people who have the results that you want. Submit yourself to them. Learn. Don't be cocky. Don't be proud. And I know it's easier said than done, but I'm not even going to front. This is exactly what I did. You know what I mean? And just, God can give you one answer that will change your life if you act on it. So remember, and I want everyone to remember this, wealth is not the money in your bank account. Wealth is the ability to attract money to your bank account.
Wow. So profound. So profound. All right. So this guy asked for books and we skipped that somehow. And he's asking again. I like his tenacity. He said he wants 3 books. What 3 books will you recommend for a regular business owner, sir?
Book number 1, Honey, Why Are We Poor by Steve Harris. It is an amazing, incredible book. I dare say, if you haven't got this, I don't know what's wrong with you. Honey, Why Are We Poor? Great book on money. You'll never go wrong. Second book for entrepreneurship, I would say is, well, it's a book on culture, but for me, it's really cool. What Got You Here Won't Get You There. It's a good book by, who wrote it? Marshall Goldsmith. What Got You Here Won't Get You There. And the third book is Hustle Smart, Hustle Harder by 50 Cent. I know it's not the book you guys were expecting. You guys were expecting some Jesus book. Yeah, the Bible is there, but that's not, that one is number 1, 2, and 3. But for me, Honey, Why Are We Poor? What Got You Here Won't Get You There, and Hustle Smart, Hustle Harder by 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson.
By the way, sir, I must say, I love the way you teach the Bible. So radical, so unreligious. And I mean, I watched an Instagram live session about the guy who went to the farm and then caught fish and could not roast it. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Never heard that anywhere. Thank you, sir. So much comment busting here. So I'll just look for the question to pick out. So someone says, where is it? Hold on, please. Okay. Someone is saying about dark desire. And by the way, I was on that IG Live where you also talked about dark desire, about the lady during lockdown and the selling shoes. And I was dazed. I was dazed. Like I'm the party. These shoes are for, I mean, guys, you need to hear what Steve Harris said to that lady. He was like, it was lockdown, no one was going out, no one was wearing anything, was selling. And then he said the lady should use this caption that dress up, wear the shoe and say, these shoes are for the ladies who believe that they are at the party, that they don't need to go out to. Okay.
Absolutely.
Question about dark desires here. Someone says, I believe people who invest in startups are mostly not always invested in passion or impact, but how much they can make. How do you sell your business to them? He's saying,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you're right, Ayobami. Investors don't invest in ideas. They invest in successful prototypes. So let me say that again. Investors do not invest in ideas. They invest in successful prototypes. I want to recommend this series to you. If you haven't watched it, please go on YouTube, go find it. Go watch Dragon's Den. All right, it's not a Nollywood movie or a Kung Fu movie. Dragon's Den. Go watch Shark Tank. These are investment forums where entrepreneurs get to pitch their business ideas to venture capitalists. And one of the questions the venture capitalists, the angel investors always ask is, how long have you been running this business? How profitable is it? They ask you about your numbers. My point is they invest in successful prototypes. So number 1, as long as it's an idea, sweetheart, ain't nobody gonna buy. Number 2, as long as it's not successful, ain't nobody gonna buy. So before, for example, we talk about Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook, but don't forget that before he got VC capital for Facebook, he had launched Facebook on his college campus, and it was called Friend Share or something like that. You know what I mean? It started by just pairing the hottest guys and the hottest girls in dorms across Harvard, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I mean? And then it became bigger. It moved from just his university to several universities across the US. And then they now recognize that, beyond just looking for the hottest guys and girls, this might even be bigger in terms of connecting their friends. So when venture capitalists met them, they were like, what have you done before? And it was like, we've done this, we've raised capital of this. This is the market spread, this is the market penetration. These are projections. If you can't speak that kind of English, you know what I mean? Give you like Moses and the Egyptians. The Bible says that when God sent Moses back let me put it. No, put it this way. It was very. Moses was bilingual, so Moses could understand the language of the kingdom and the language of the marketplace. So when he went to speak to Pharaoh, he wasn't speaking to Pharaoh as a Hebrew. He was speaking to Pharaoh as an Egyptian prince who had diplomatic immunity. Do you get what I'm saying? He was speaking as an Egyptian prince who understood the protocols of palace. Do you get what I mean? So the other Hebrews were talking, let us go. We're suffering, we're suffering. Moses wasn't like, no, 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 no. He says, this is like, as a king, I'm coming to you speaking diplomatic immunity. So what am I saying? You must learn how to speak the numbers of the language of investors. Investors don't speak the language of passion. They don't speak the language of impact. They speak the language of penetration, market segmentation, financial growth, business modeling, returns on investments, key performance indicators. Those are the languages they understand. If you can't speak Egyptian, better chill with being a Hebrew, because you ain't gonna make no money and nobody's gonna let you go. In fact, they'll put you in slavery for wasting their time.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we're wrapping up, guys. Someone is asking, he says, I'm a marketing comms person. How can we create comms message without being unethical or seemingly lying? Red Bull is a case, an example, and was sued because of this.
Well, yeah, again, first off, I know we're in a global marketplace again, but it's going to take some time before Nigeria gets to that place where Red Bull gets sued. And again, if you think about it, maybe they were not necessarily sued based on promise of value. They were probably sued on maybe something else. For example, which is why tobacco companies, when they, maybe Marlboro or, any of these BAT tobacco brands will always put it out there as a caveat: smokers are liable to die young and have increase in heart disease and cancer and all those 9 yards. So they put those caveats. But as a comms person, you must have a big bold claim. You know what I mean? You must have a big bold claim, either inferred or implied. So, for example, Victoria's Secrets sells the imagery of seduction, angelic seduction. So for example, which is why they have Victoria's Secret angels. But seduction is their forte, but they're saying you can be demure and seductive and this, that, and the other. So the Victoria's Secrets, if you're a Victoria's Secrets woman, you're angelic, but you're demure. You've got sweet and sour, you've got sugar and spice, this, that. But as a comms person, obviously, you're not making claims that are cannot be verified, which is why even for example, as a coach, I always say things like in my contracts with my clients, I always have things like, oh, results are not typical, which is true, because if somebody comes and says, oh, somebody came into Steve's program, person did 1 million before, they did 40 million later. Me too, I want to Steve, me too, I want to make 40 million. I'm like, no, results are not typical. T's and C's apply. You know what I mean? But I think it's going to take a long while before we get there. But again, back up what you brag about. That's my point. Back up what you brag about, and always let people know that, this is what it is. People will hear what they want to hear. It's like, going, buying a fitness DVD, and you think you're going to look like the guy on the DVD because you're doing the same programs. It takes time. You know what I mean? So, that's what it is.
Thank you, sir. So this person is asking, I hope you are not a woman, but I mean, it's okay. I want to believe you put a picture of your wife, because you're not even supposed to be here, not to start asking questions, but that's fine. Okay. The person is saying, how do I get my customers to chase me? I love this one.
Have something worth chasing. Have something worth chasing. If a guy's going to chase you, he's going to chase you for something. There's something, you probably look like something he wants, or you have something he needs. It's as simple as that. Your customers are the same way. Have something worth chasing. What is the bait that will make them chase you? You know what I mean? If you're, from a man, so we're guys here, maybe you're a woman, you walk into the room, every guy's going to stare at you, and they're going to look at you, hips, lips, and fingertips. You know what I'm saying? This girl is hot, her face, her this, or that. We're all looking at different things. So my point is, have something that's worth chasing. So when your product or service or your ad comes across our timelines, we're like, okay, this customer or this product is worth chasing. So that's a short answer.
Thank you, sir. All right, guys, this is going to be the last question for today. Sorry if I didn't pick your question. It probably got lost. You might want to... No, I'm not taking questions anymore. So, sir, can you talk more about the God factor? what did you apply from what God told you, and how do you interpret what He gives you in your daily life?
Oh man, I'm not even gonna front. I'm not even gonna lie, and I'm not gonna give you any Christianese answer. You know what I'm saying? So I know a lot of us have Christianese answers. I'm not gonna give you one. But what I will say to you is, my relationship with God is very simple. You know what I mean? It's not complex. My wife constantly berates me because she says, sometimes when she's teasing me, she says I'm a heathen. She's spiritual, but I'm like a Gentile. So she's like, she's the Jew and I'm the Gentile. And because my relationship with God is incredibly simple. I'm not much of a faster. I'm not much of a prayer. I don't even do night vigils, to be honest. Mine is, look, Jesus, Lord, and I talk to him like a real person. So, Lord or Jesus, this is how I'm feeling. Oh, this is my program is not filling up the way I want it, or I'm struggling with this. I really do need your help. I just try to keep it real. Jesus said, when you pray, don't be like the Pharisees that use plenty English. He says, speak from your heart, and your Father who sees you and hears you in secret will reward you openly. So for me, it's really, really simple. God is everything. God is everything to me, and that's why I put the caveat out there that I'm not the most spiritual of men. I still have my issues. I'm not as spiritual as most of my friends in this industry are pastors. So by osmosis, their faith rubs off on me. You know what I mean? It's like secondhand smoke. Jimmy's a pastor, Becky was a pastor, Fela was a pastor. So I'm surrounded by good guys, and it rubs off on me. So I'm like the black sheep in the family, kind of rubs off on me. But I do have a relationship with God that is really simple. And every day when I wake up, I always say, help me to be more like you today than I was yesterday. That's my simple prayer, But for me, I believe that God has many faces. You know what I mean? Some people see God from the salvation perspective, and that's great. Some people see God as a healer. I see God as a businessman. I see God as an entrepreneur. I see God from that perspective. I see God as a deal maker, which is why, for example, he talks about things like covenants. Covenants are business instruments. He says, "Come, let's deal. Let's negotiate. Come, let's reason together." You know what I mean? But I try to let it guide my philosophy, because I believe that Jesus didn't die to create a religion. Jesus died to create a kingdom, and I believe that when Jesus says, "I want you to be," and I'll end it this way. When Jesus says two things, he says, "I want you to be wise as serpents and gentle as doves," and then another scripture says, "I send you as sheep among wolves." When I meditated on those two scriptures, it really changed my mindset field, because when Jesus says, "I've sent you as sheep among wolves," if you think about it, if you bring sheep among wolves, the wolves are going to chew the sheep. They're going to kill the sheep. But when I studied and meditated deeper, I realized that Jesus says, "I've sent you as sheep dressed as wolves among wolves." So we are camouflaged. We are hiding in plain sight. So we may look like the world, we may act like the world. So, for example, most people will say, Steve, for example, I've tried to restrain my normal speaking style, because normally I would have probably thrown an F-bomb here, cussed something out, said something or the other, not because I want to, it's just the way I am. But I find that a lot of people would resonate with me because I am more like them. And then when they come, they now find out that this guy has God all over him, you know what I mean? But he looks like a But God sends you as sheep dressed in wolves' clothing among wolves. The second thing he says, "Be as wise as serpents and gentle as doves." It's quite interesting because in Genesis, the Bible says that when the serpent was introduced in the garden, it says the serpent was the most cunning of all the animals, right? So it's quite interesting that God says you as a Christian that you must be like a snake. Now, have you studied snakes before, Sophia? They are stealthy. You don't see snakes in plain sight. Snakes are camouflaged. Snakes don't chase you. They strike you once, they get you. Snakes don't exert energy running after. They're not snakes are not like lions or cheetahs where they're running after you. Snakes have patience. They will wait for you. You know what I mean? Snakes are strategic. Snakes are cunning. And Jesus himself says, I want you to be like a snake. I want you to be as cunning, as crafty, as strategic, as stealthy, as camouflaged like snakes, but I want your heart to be peaceful like a dove. It sounds like a conundrum. So I believe that, for me, my role on this earth as Christian is to take over the kingdoms of God for God. No disrespect to people of other faith, but let me use extremists like Boko Haram. When Boko Haram take over a territory, they don't build a mosque, they build a kingdom. When Boko Haram take a territory, they institute their law, they institute their government upon the inhabitants. They don't build a mosque. When Christians take over territories, we build churches. We don't take over kingdom. And the churches are subject to what happens in the kingdom. So I believe that my role for God is to take over kingdoms, media, entertainment, politics, government, family, entertainment. Those are the things that guide my philosophy until the kingdoms of this world become the kingdoms of our God.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. Immensely blessed. And I love your personality. I don't know. You're just down to earth, real. I could see through you. I mean, to tell that all you're sharing, all you're saying, it's real. And that authenticity, I believe it's also a gift. And I pray that, you come into higher dimensions of your work and you'll be able to raise more people, like you, out of us, really. So guys, what do you say? What do you say to Steve Harris? What do you say? What do you say? Thank you. I'm sorry if I didn't pick your question. There is a guy that was repeating one question again and again here. He said, what books would you recommend for problem-solving skills?
Problem-solving skills. That new book of problem-solving. I don't know, man. I don't know. Go and watch videos on YouTube. Critical thinking and creative problem solving. That will probably help you. But books, I don't know the titles. So just go YouTube and find critical thinking and creative problem solving.
All right. So yeah. Someone is behind me. He said that authenticity is legit, no cap. Absolutely. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, sir. It's popping in. Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you, guys. Sir, thank you. We can't thank you enough on behalf of DDK and Immerse Coaching Company, Mensa K. Thank you for honoring us, and we believe we'll do more of this together. Thank you. Someone says Mr. Steve Harris is authentic and real. I mean, that one blows my mind out. Funny enough, if you see him from afar, you think it's cocky or
But I am. I'm very cocky.
Yeah, but I mean, you're able to balance the both personalities. Great. I mean, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, DDK, for having me. Thank you to the Immerse Coaching Company, Coaching Company, for having me. She's doing an amazing, incredible work. I think DDK is tremendously anointed. And to be honest, I've never met her. Yeah, we haven't met yet, but I've seen her from a distance, and my brothers testify to how amazing she is. And for her to do what she has, she is an apostle in the marketplace. She is someone that's got some Holy Ghost fire on the inside and on the outside. And doing this to be a voice to speak to men and women is so powerful and amazing. So thank you so much to my sister DDK. And to the Immerse Coaching Company. You guys are fantastic. And to everyone who signed up for this program, who logged in, who shared it with your wives and your significant others and just snuck in. Make it happen, guys. Make it happen. The world is waiting for you. So let's secure the bag, baby.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So we'll let you go now. Thank you, sir. All right, guys, that's it for today. I hope you were thoroughly blessed. I mean, yeah, that's the word. I mean, really. So like Steve Harris said, if you have never made $1 million before, like at once, after this session, you want to have a talk with yourself. I mean, you are the CEO of your life. You are the managing director, the CEO. the operation manager, everything of your life. Have a board meeting with the personality of you yourself and use some of the insights shared tonight to pivot, to upscale, to, you know, revolutionize your business. I mean, really, these things are real. You heard what he said in his first year. You heard the figure, how much he made. It's possible. You can do the same. All right. So we'd like to get your feedback. We'd like to have you in the Telegram group. We'd like to, you know, hear from you. What do you think about this session? And by the way, we have just come to the middle of the Mood Boot Camp. We still have amazing session. Maybe I should just tell you some of the guest mentors that we're still expecting. We're having Mr. Fela Drotoye next week. You don't want to miss that. We have, by the way, DDK is coming back also. So watch out for DDK. We have Damilola Oluwatoyinbo coming back. We have Shola Okuduga coming back, coming to Mensacade. We have a lot of guest mentors coming, and it's going to be back to back to back. All right, so guys, please avail yourself. Don't drop the ball. Stay through the course. And if this has really been beneficiary to you, you want to, you know, go ahead and spread the news with your friends, your colleagues. You know, bring guys into. We decided to leave the registration open so that more people can still come in and benefit. And if you know anyone who has registered for this program and has not been coming for live sessions or has not been interacting with the courses, you want to tell them about what's going on. All right, my name is Phil. Thank you for coming tonight. I will see you again next week. And of course, in the Telegram channel and the Telegram group. Bye. Right.